So I'm at home today, dealing with a migraine, and I've been shut down from news media all day yesterday and today. But I log in and I see something, and I just wanted you to all to know that this is a distraction.
Who did not want to accept the will of the American people in electing Donald Trump in 2016, and therefore cooked up this treasonous conspiracy to, again, try to effectively, and they did effectively, launch a years-long coup against the sitting president of the United States.
Director Gabbard, I'm glad you used the word coup. I also, in some of your reports, the word treason has come up. We're seeing a lot of things coming to light these days, and it's very encouraging for Americans, especially this report, which so many of us knew this was a hoax. But this goes all the way to the top. I mean, this goes all the way to Barack Obama. Will we actually see someone as high up as Barack Obama take responsibility, be accountable, maybe face criminal charges? Is that a possibility here based on the documents that you've released?
Yeah, Rachel, the seriousness of, again, the implications and the consequences of these actions that were taken demand accountability. The American people not only deserve the truth and accountability, when we look at the future of our country as a democratic republic and the American people's ability to have faith that when they go and cast a vote at the ballot box, that the will of the people will be respected by those in government, whether they be Democrats or Republicans, this is literally what is at stake here. So we are referring all of our documents to the Department of Justice for the purpose of accountability and action. No one, no matter who they are, no matter how high up they are or how powerful they may be, no matter who the intelligence officials or professionals were who were a part of this treasonous conspiracy, there must be accountability. The truth must be shown to the American people in order to ensure that there is this faith and trust and integrity in our democratic republic for the sake of the future of our country.
It's all lies. It's all a distraction. Number one, President Obama did nothing wrong, committed no treasonous acts. They can refer whatever lies that they have cooked up over to the Department of Justice, and nothing is going to happen. Nothing at all. Not only did President Barack Obama not commit any criminal acts, including treason, but they forgot that King Cankles had a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that ex-presidents have broad immunity. Yes, Donald Trump had the case that went to the Supreme Court, but the ruling applies to all ex-presidents. So Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama, has broad immunity. That's a distraction. Him putting out that diagnosis was an attempt to distract. Him filing a lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal, that is an attempted distraction. Him doing the crazy things that he's doing in the Oval Office, all of his Truth Social posts, all of them are distractions, and they're not working. What are they trying to distract from? Here you go.
The time that is most memorable to me is the time when he hit on me, because I was in the office. It was one of the first times I started working for Donald Trump's a sleazebag. Okay.
Yes.
It was when I started working for Epstein, and it was 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
And Jeffrey Epstein's office was totally empty. And I told the New York Times this, but of course they don't tell the whole thing, right? Even though Mike Baker is amazing, but they would not allow him to tell the truth. Right. So basically, I go into this office. It's 9 o'clock at night, and I sit down. And a few minutes later, and I'm wearing running clothes. Okay, so it was really weird. It's 9 o'clock at night, and I'm wearing running clothes because I didn't have money, so I had to jog up there.
Right.
And so I've just struggled, for so long. So I'm like up there in the office, seated, and I've got my, my running clothes on, so my legs are showing. And in walks this man that, when I reported into the FBI, said that game show host, Donald Trump, because I thought he was a game show host.
Yeah.
Because he's so cheesy, you know? But anyway, so I said, I said hello to, he walks in and I just kind of acknowledged him like a head nod or something.
Yeah.
And he immediately he's standing across the room from me, and I'm seated. And he's like, oh, Maria, no, he didn't. Sorry. I was just looking at something. He's standing across the room and he's looking at me, and I'm like, oh, gross. This guy's so gross. Anyway, he's just glaring at my legs like, yum. I told my sister, I felt like I was his dinner or his lunch,
Yeah.
the way he was looking at me. So Epstein comes in. And by the way, I did not look good. I was like, I'm not exceptionally beautiful or anything like that. These are just gross people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just like a normal person who went on a run, and I'm seated there. So he assumed I was there for him. And this is how I know. Epstein walks up to him and goes, no, she's not here for you. And they were smirking, and Epstein whispered something. He goes, go in there. And so Trump at 9:00 at night goes in the other room. There's someone in there for him.
Right.
I don't know who, but Epstein said, no,
You say that
she's not here
Trump
for you.
groped you in front of Epstein. I do want to note that CNN has spoken to 3 friends of yours who confirmed that you told them about this alleged incident over past decades. Can you tell me more about what happened that day, and particularly how Trump and Epstein interacted?
Yeah, and before I get into the details of what happened, which, obviously I told you guys and I've shared with multiple outlets, the specifics of the assault that happened, I want to point out that I was polygraphed before I did all this by one of the most renowned examiners in the world. Michael Wolff has hundreds of hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein where Jeffrey confirmed to Michael what the two of them did to me long before I came out and told you all of this. So those are 2 critical data points that you need to have, and now I'll walk you through what happened. I was dating Jeffrey. He was always talking about Donald. It was his bestie and everything, and he was joking about how Donald thought I was hot, and Donald thinks I'm this or whatever, wants to talk to you. And he was telling me this as we were taking a walk down Fifth Avenue one day. And he said, let's stop in and see him at his offices. So we went up to his office in Trump Tower, and within a couple of minutes, Donald was outside of his door, and his hands were all over me. They were on my breasts, they were on my butt, they were on, my hips, up and down, while the two of them just kept having a normal conversation. I don't remember exactly what was in the conversation. Again, this was, we're talking 90, this is 93 now. It was something about, it was irrelevant. It was like, oh, Stacey's career's on fire. She just did Sports Illustrated again, blah, 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 blah. And they were back and forth, smiling and grinning and carrying on a conversation while Donald ran his hands all over me. And, when that happens in broad daylight in someone's office and an assistant's walking back and forth, you're in shock. If it happens in a dark alleyway, right, you defend yourself. But when it's hidden in its brazenness like that, which is Donald Trump's forte, you go into shock. So I froze, and it was over and very quickly. It was a few minutes. And then we got back in the elevator, and Jeffrey's energy had changed. He was like seething. He was enraged. He wouldn't make eye contact with me. And then we got out on the street on Fifth Avenue, and he looked at me and he just started yelling at me, saying, why did you let him do that? And he was so enraged. And then I remember thinking, like, why did I? I felt like I was coming back into my body at that moment.
Charges that Jeffrey Epstein was running a sex trafficking ring in the early 2000s that included underage girls as young as 14 years old.
Donald Trump in 2002 said of Epstein, he's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
He routinely spoke fawningly of Jeffrey. He admired Epstein's lifestyle.
Your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
What does Tiffany have of Marlon's?
She's got Marlon's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this pregnant.
You were playing tennis and you came off the court. Quote, look at that piece of I would love some of that.
It so happened that Trump was referring to Cohen's then 15-year-old daughter, Samantha.
I had the impression that he was interested in younger women and that, you know, women would age out for him.
Miss Teen Universe? Yeah, that's like giving Jeffrey Dahmer a cooking show.
I'll go backstage before a show, and everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I standing there with notes like...
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
A lawsuit against the presumptive GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
Prince Andrew answering questions for the first time about his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I don't know Prince Andrew, but it's a tough story.
Trump has been photographed with Prince Andrew as far back as the year 2000.
Ghislaine Maxwell is accused of helping Epstein sexually abuse underage girls.
I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
You know about sexual predators and things like that. I mean,
you are one.
All right, I was going to say that.
And there's so much more coming out from Donald Trump's past in audio, in video, in quotes that show Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were pals, best of friends, and they were best of friends in doing P3DO behavior, sexually harassing behavior towards women, abusive behavior. It's all coming out from his past. If you're watching Ben Meiselas over on the Midas Touch, Ben Meiselas has made it his one-man mission to expose something about Donald Trump relating to Jeffrey Epstein every single day. This is what they are trying to distract from. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Some of this stuff I've seen but have forgotten about. Yeah. Shout out to Ben Meiselas over there on the Midas Touch. Keep the videos coming. Keep the pressure on. Don't let them distract from this man and all of the heinous things that he has done to young girls in the past. It's way past time for him to pay. My head is killing me. I'm going back to bed.
Basically, you were at President Trump's, well, he was just Donald Trump, his country club. And you were playing tennis and you came off the court. And here's how it was written in Vanity Fair. Somehow Trump's attention was diverted to another skirt walking off a tennis court. Quote, "Look at that piece of ass," Cohen recalls Trump saying as he whistled and pointed. Quote, "I would love some of that." It so happened that Trump was referring to Cohen's then 15-year-old daughter, Samantha. Do you remember that moment? Because it goes on to write that after that, you came over, he wanted you to give him a kiss, and he said, "When did you get such a great figure?"
I'm sure many women can relate. You become desensitized to men making these kinds of comments to you, and you allow them to go over your head and you kind of tune out the noise. But what stood out to me in that moment was he said to my dad, "Well, there's no way that she got her looks from you. Thank God you married a beautiful woman." And I was desensitized to men making creepy comments about me, but I was not desensitized to someone blatantly insulting and degrading my father in front of me, someone who I looked up to and loved very much. And that was very upsetting to me. And that made me think, okay, maybe Trump doesn't treat my father so well.
And I do want to get to that in a moment about the way he treated your father. But first, back to that for a second. He also, I mean, at least in the book, it says that he said to you, "Be careful, I'll be dating your friends in a few years."
No, I didn't get the impression that he was hitting on me directly, but I had the impression that he was interested in younger women and that, you know, women would age out for him and that when one woman became too old, you'd find a new younger one.